Hello, all of you delightful beings out there, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and this is Ascent to Ascend Pathfinder, Season 5, Episode 27, On the Seas. I am very used to doing the introduction for Scar, and so I always stumble a little bit with Pathfinder because, well, most people know Pathfinder. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started. We do have an artist here with us today. Conrad's currently working on some 3D models, so you all can enjoy that after the beginning art scroll. But for now, we'll turn it over to Tal for introductions.
Hello, I am Talderius, and I will be the storyteller for Ascent to Ascend Pathfinder tonight. I am still sick, so if you hear me coughing, I apologize. It's probably going to happen anyway. Turning it over to Gar.
I am Tochemay, and I am playing Gar the Knoll Barbarian. Things are gonna go fun. And now off to the Marten twins.
I am Razim, and I am playing as the Marten twins, a pair of sentient feral psionic martens. They are psionic incanters, and this week their names are Nevis and King, because Conrad's currently working on a Nevis model. He's excited. But off to Rosalia.
I'm Tanya Sapien. I am playing Rosalia Nadu Cygnus, the Necro Bunny, who's completely done with various people's crap.
Hello, I'm Tiberian, and I'm playing Snow Shadow of the Vanishing Isles, a monk who's a little unconscious right now.
And locked up. Don't forget to pass it along, guys.
That'd be you, Timber.
Yep. Hello, everybody. I am Timbo. I am playing Tempo do Jägermeister van Glorious Borkenborg Wolfenstein. I'm a wolven, big wolf guy, a paladin, and currently wearing the Cone of Shame.
Shame. You have been shamed.
I have received my helmet for today, and I posted it in Ascent to Ascend.
Oh my god. He's actually wearing a pot over his head.
Alright, so let me know if this gets annoying.
Surprisingly, it's actually of a not horrible quality.
Yeah, I'm rather
If anything,
impressed.
It's accurate. If anything, it's accurate to how he would sound with the helmet on all the time. Call back to Timber Visor.
Yeah. At least I bought a mic.
But either way, let's go and move to the recap. Go ahead, Timber.
Alright,
Actually,
so
hold on one moment. Can you actually just not see anything right now?
yes.
God, carry on.
Alright, so previous episode, we were at Rose's Island, which was called Lagomos?
Lagos.
Lagos, yeah. It's been more than 8 minutes, so my attention span is a little weird. But anyways, previous episode, everyone was kind of just starting to pack up, and I was kind of just standing there on the deck, and Rose brought up her suit thingy, which is nice because we always need more big things. Especially since we lost a couple, we lost countless people, because we lost some conscripts, we lost some wolven. Might as well just write them off as casualties. But anyways, she was, showing us, its magic stuff, and, Snow walked up and asked Rose if, she can make him some like stuff, and they went away. And then after that, Snow challenged me to a duel, so I went out there, and I waited, and twins came, and I waited, and, well, apparently it wasn't a duel, because he didn't want to go in a ring or anything, and apparently they made him a whole bunch of bolts for his crossbow, and, well, he didn't bring enough bolts for his crossbow, and then I challenged him to fisticuffs, and we beat the snot out of each other. And then I woke up on the boat. And, well, apparently we're leaving, so we're leaving. And, you know, I was ready to set sail, and Rose was like, we can't fly the Imperial flag. This armada of ships will shoot us. But I guess that's why the Kaiser issued me these heretics, because they're willing to do stuff that I cannot. The end. Oh, yeah, if you can't hear, I am wearing the cone of shame.
Because he behaved dishonorably during the duel.
That wasn't a duel.
Yeah, you're right, it wasn't a duel. There's a lot of things that I could call it, none of which are respectful.
Well, maybe if we get back in character, we can talk about it.
I'm already in character.
Well, yeah, but this is Timber's recap. As he's facing the wall.
Wait a minute. Timber, did you just imply that you got out of character?
Okay, blah, blah, blah. Wah. I'm literally looking at a bucket right now.
The result of your own actions.
Yes.
Well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions.
And that's about it.
Surprisingly good summary for a pothead.
I'll have you know, this is Imperial grade.
It's an Imperial grade helmet. It doesn't have any holes for an arrow to find.
Oh my god. Off to you, Tal.
All right. Well, obviously,
Oh, one more intro to do,
Alright, Paul.
apparently.
Found Alexi. He got sucked into one of the conveyor belts.
That's what happens when you wake me up in the middle of my nap and tell me to fix stuff, and then oh, hi, I'm
We had to
Alexi.
strap him to the hammock so that he'd actually get sleep.
Yeah, he was kind of just stuck there the entire time.
Well, Alexi, go introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm like Paul. Did you play Alexi? I'm awake, I swear.
he swears.
Just gonna set the chromatic armlet to frost. I'm sure a 3d8 frost damage down the back would wake him up really quick.
It probably would.
I think that's just called an ice cube down the back of the shirt.
My
It'll
way's
also
more
likely
fun.
wake them up.
I'm already turning into a lich. My idea of pranks involves bodily harm. Alexi's here, and mostly awake. All intros done. We're good to go. Whenever you want to lead us in.
Alrighty. So we are going to start, obviously, with everyone on the ship. You are aware of the potential new problem that has just arisen, which is that a marshal has shown up and is, apparently making some sort of weird alliance with Dragomos's people, as well as Paladin Shield Piercer, who's offering some assistance to them.
Well, I believe the twins know. He hasn't really told anyone yet.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
yeah. But I'm just saying, like, you know, as, like, the final recap of just where we were.
Yeah.
Actually, here, something for me to lead things in. I feel like there's an argument that could be. Actually, there we go. Knowledge engineering, and carpentry. Oh no. Well, I was going to double check Lexi's work now that we're actually underway. So if anything is about ready to break, I might be able to get ahead of it. But I just crit failed on that, so.
Well, if anything's wrong, you didn't see it.
Yeah. Here's hoping nothing's
Or
wrong with the
caused
wood
it.
portion. Got a decent roll on the engineering, but the carpentry, no. So if any of the wood's about to break loose, she missed it.
Oh, I missed.
In all fairness, she's very distracted right now. She's very upsetty.
All right. I think you already know the results of that, which is you ain't getting anything useful there.
Yeah. All this means is that if there is a point of failure, you're going to say that it was on the wood side.
To be fair, the vast majority of your ship is made out of wood. That would
Yeah.
not narrow it down in any way.
Well, worst case scenario, this is a somewhat newish ship, and we got sails.
You have both sails and oars. Which means if one fails, you could still likely use the other.
Yep.
So the twins should be getting back to the ship about now, right? And they did take I do remember they said that they took a detoured route when returning to the ship to mask the direction they actually came from.
Yep. But that's basically what I was saying with, like, you know, everyone, like, this. We're mostly starting up when the twins get back to the ship.
Okay.
Well, yeah, they are there, and they're going to relay what they learned to Timber.
Well, that's concerning. All right, twins. Well, we don't got the tonnage to fight them. So we're gonna have to fight them a different day. But this information is definitely something somebody can use. But currently, even though this isn't an Imperial ship, I still have to take care of it. So Temple's gonna maneuver the ship, like, not in the direction that the flotilla's going.
All right.
And he's gonna, tell the twins to route them the best direction to wherever their two family members are at.
I believe north of our location.
North, yep.
HKO to
ba-
the west, me. Imperial to the right. Here I am, northbound in the middle with you.
North towards Ebrium. Actually, technically speaking, north slightly into Ebrium.
We're going east. Whatever. We're gonna go the direction of the funny little needle thingy.
But Timber, that's N. N is short for 9. I thought it was funny.
Never go this direction under any circumstances.
The crusade knows no bounds. I'm having too much fun with this.
If I was physically there, I would have already whacked it with a spoon by now.
Oh my god.
Were you really expecting anything different to happen?
No.
That's the sound those rocks were making earlier.
Got rocks in your head. Hear them rolling around.
But yeah, we're gonna start going north.
After, of course, giving them a very wide berth.
Well, yeah. These are you guys can basically crawl around the other side of the island, though, because these are coming from the west. And if you're going north, you could just go around the east side of the island to the north.
Yeah.
So, all of you are shipping off from Lagos. You are now back on the seas. Title card, mandatory.
He said the line.
I said the line.
He said the thing!
Title mentioned.
Drop.
Alright, everybody, thanks for joining. See you all
We did
in
the thing.
Roll
3
credits.
months.
And we sailed off into the sunset. Oh, wait a minute, no. Hold on. Sunset's west. Crap, going the wrong way.
Yeah, that's the dangerous way. I don't think you want to sail
Alright,
off into the sunset.
First thing on Rose's agenda is that update to her channeling tattoo. The intention is that it's basically just adding a little bit of extra stability, hopefully without interfering with the function of the chromatic armlet. So that way it won't ground out if she uses positive or negative energy when using the mech suit.
Alrighty.
Which of course means she needs to find the kobolds.
Yep. Which, luckily, you know where they sleep. And that does tend to make that slightly easier in terms of finding where they're at. Because you know where they sleep and where they keep all their stuff.
That's assuming they're asleep right now.
Well, yeah, but they also keep their stuff there. Remember, they have all the illicit supplies there.
she's just going to go get the fire prod and then go looking for the kobolds.
Alrighty. There is a very limited area where they even could be, so it just takes a little bit. You end up searching around a bit.
All right, guess what time it is?
Is this where you have a bunch of very weird experiments you want us to tie someone down for?
Maybe later, but no. I need my tattoo updated again.
Their leader smiles at you. It is not a good smile. The other two immediately go off towards
And
the
dragon-
towards where you know where their little room is.
And the dragon's taking silver these days, right?
Oh yes.
You know what? For once, I'm gonna ask, what would you put your price at? And she's gonna be showing him the updated schematic.
Oh, hey, they actually rolled pretty decent on that. And they're gonna think for a second, and then go, on one claw, higher than usually paid. On the other, you did well, we don't exactly have to pay to be here, which makes that a lot easier than in other places.
We give you room and board, and we protect the same dragon that you serve.
Effectively, yes. So, with that being the case, you don't need this service too often. We're the only ones capable of really giving it to you with the quality that you want.
Well, I feel like Alexei could give the proper quality. It's just he would need therapy afterwards.
Capable of routinely giving you it. I'm fairly certain that under no circumstances would this ship pay for anyone's therapy.
$10 for you, $6 for each of your assistants, and we don't talk about that camo suit that you ambushed me with a couple weeks ago.
In that case, 60 silver.
45.
I'm not going to negotiate too much on this. 55.
You know what? Yeah, screw it. 55. I'm too damn tired to push harder.
You're the one who opened up negotiations on this.
Yeah, it's because I was hoping that I'd get a lower price.
He just looks at you like you're actually stupid now.
You do realize that I could kill all three of you in your sleep, right?
This does not change my opinion on what you just said, actually.
Alright, whatever. Here's the silver. Let's get this over with.
All right. Well, thankfully for you, Rosalia, there is an active influence in regards to this. The kobolds automatically nat 20 both the quality and the pain.
How long ago was that played?
Like a year and a half ago. but it was an ongoing influence, so
Wow.
they don't need to roll anymore. It's just they automatically nat 20 how the quality and the pain of your tattoo updates.
So it's always perfect quality, but it always hurts a lot, or it doesn't hurt as much as it used to?
No, the pain is mandatory.
Ah, okay. Something.
As in
medium pain?
they're rolling to maximize the pain without compromising the quality.
Sounds about right. She does antagonize them a lot. So, yeah. At some point in time, Snow and Alexi would be hearing Rosalia screaming against a wooden spoon. Gotta have something to bite down on.
It'll be at least 3 hours before Snow wakes up.
Lightpaw?
What was that noise? Swear I heard a noise over the. Yeah, I can hear. Is. That's not the machine, is it?
If your machine sounds like a bunny screech, it needs oil.
Okay, to be mildly fair, I feel like there's probably been multiple times where Alexi has forgotten that machines actually need maintenance.
This is true.
Or come into a situation needing to repair a machine that definitely belongs to somebody who forgot that machines need maintenance.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
operate it long enough and it becomes a smoke machine.
Yeah. Well, what's the term? Every machine is a smoke machine if you use it wrong enough.
Yeah.
According to Imperial regulations, you're supposed to keep the smoke inside the machine most of the time, unless it's the enemy's machine. Then you want to get the smoke out of it.
Magic smoke is a valuable resource.
If once you let the magic smoke out of the machine, it rarely wants to go back in.
That's where you get the apprentice to get the bucket to catch the magic smoke so you can put it back in the wiring.
Of course.
I've actually been on a funny story. I was in a tech support phone call when the magic smoke got let out of my computer. I still to this day have no idea what the heck I was supposed to do.
I mean, that's because it's magic.
I've only seen the aftermath of when the magic smoke gets let out. Half the electrical room disappeared.
It was just a pop for me, Gara.
So, Rose is getting her tattoo done. She's screaming. Lexi doesn't seem to notice. Snow is unconscious. Timber is at the helm. What are Gar and the twins doing?
Good question.
Zim had to step away for a minute there.
And
Ah.
Gar is relaxing his bunk, waiting until we are securely away from the other ship.
Luckily, they don't exactly seem to be pursuing.
Yeah, they got bigger things to deal with right now.
Just staying below decks until you're out of sniper range. Good call.
Mm-hmm.
moving forward.
I know once we get away from the current danger, Temple was going to ask the twins if they could keep this heading while he changes his uniform.
This is actually a perfect opportunity for some funny timing and to check off a important plot point.
Oh, Rose, last time you were arguing with Timber about the flags that we were flying.
Yeah, did we ever actually swap the flags?
You never came to a consensus before the game ended.
The flag is still flying because Timbal has not dragged it down yet. It
So
got
yeah,
changed.
still,
That's why he's getting out of the uniform. But what was this currently getting stabbed?
yeah. That was the thing is for however long he stays at the helm versus how long the tattoo update takes, because he keeps the holy water in his bedroom, right?
Timbal keeps it either in the bedroom or on his belt. Yes.
So then, yeah, she would be heading there afterwards, whenever that lines up.
Oh, what? It takes like 10 minutes or a couple of minutes to doff his armor.
I've got an issue. I'm trying to bring up the image for the new ship, so just to double check the floor plan, and it's just showing a black window.
That's weird. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and...
There was a note on the update for Fantasy Grounds that mentioned something about netcode. Could be worth looking into.
So if I click share,
Still just black.
Uh-oh, Fantasy Grounds really didn't like that.
Yeah, the spinning blue thingy.
I'm not getting any spinny.
Oh, there we go.
I didn't get any spinny either.
There we go, new ship.
Yes, I see the same thing, just blackness.
That is strange.
Maybe it's just
Amulet,
zoomed in a lot. Or zoomed out a lot.
Okay, so I'm going through the other images. Amulet, that loaded. Gatehouse loaded. Knolls on Lagos. It's taking a minute. Now I'm getting the blue spinny. Okay, Knolls on Lagos loaded. Complete with the icons and
that's me.
interactables.
There.
The ambient lighting got turned to pitch black and max strength.
We're going through fog.
Apparently, you could set ambient lighting to pitch black.
But can you set it to code red?
So long as it's not code blue, we're fine.
How do you tell the difference?
Blue is blue.
He's not completely colorblind. He has a limited color spectrum.
Code blue to Wolven is basically code red, but and if the Navy ship's blowing blue signals, things are going very bad. It's so bad that the Wolven are panicking, so yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. But it's the same thing for cars. If a car starts having blue smoke coming out the tailpipe, that's very bad.
Yeah. But yeah, Timber will get out of uniform, basically just strip down to his skivvies, and he'll take a length of chain and chain himself to the helm. After putting away his uniform nice and neatly. in his barracks, in his quarters. So yeah, Timber's only wearing basically a loincloth, his helmet, and the cone of shame. And a length of chain that he has on the chained himself to the helm.
Guess this would be about when Rose is coming back up above decks.
Probably.
Jägermeister, where's the holy water at?
I wonder what you're doing with it, but if you go into my quarters, what?
I wanted to request some of it for medical purposes. I need to cauterize a wound, and that's the best substance for it.
Oh, go to my quarters. It's to the left side of my footlocker.
Speaking of your quarters, why did you paint them white? I mean, you had to have had a reason.
Yes, that way I know. When I go down, everything's black. When I wake up, I know I'm not down.
Oh, you're talking about other you when the chains break.
Yes. I might not be that bright, but I've been using that as a reference to make sure I'm still okay.
You know what? I've been doing similar things myself.
Plus,
Various little things to keep
I
track
missed
of.
my mist. She was white.
You know what? That's fair. That's very fair. Actually, yeah, small confession. You have no idea how strong the temptation was to exhume that grave when I found out that my friend had died.
Which grave?
Well, there's 50-50 chance that it was an empty grave since they were marked as having been taken by the gnolls. But, you know, you never know. The sickle that I was using for a long period of time until I switched to the scythe. Yes. Just because somebody was taken by the gnolls doesn't mean they didn't get the bones back. That happens sometimes, and, you know, slim hopes and all that.
I've returned.
I don't know
Sorry
what-
about that.
I don't know much about recovering bodies. We usually just burn them.
Hairfolk are very sentimental about the dead. You wouldn't know it with, you know, all the adaptations they had to make around gnolls. Because even the bones can give nutrition.
Welcome back, Zim.
Anyways, I'm gonna go get that holy water now.
Just be careful. Brutus is watching.
Now, if I see any levitating guns, I'll be sure to scream.
Scream really loudly.
You know I can.
It's the only thing that might make him giggle.
I notice a lot of people seem to have that sentiment.
Also, yeah, Timber's not wearing his armor.
She is pointedly not asking about that. Don't know if he can see, considering that he's wearing the cone of shame, but she is going out of her way to maintain direct eye contact.
Meanwhile, Timbal can barely see over it. Roselia exists in his blind spot right now.
So, yeah, when she does get the holy water, she's just going to be rubbing a little bit of that on the updated portion of the tattoo, and then going back to her workshop to continue on her various projects. And that's her for the next few hours.
The salt
Alright.
water mist must hurt.
Well, see, the salt water doesn't really affect her all that much because she's slowly becoming more and more undead. But the poker is magic, and holy water as well. Holy. Those do hurt.
I'm pretty sure Mist would really hurt Roselia a lot.
Let's just hope she's not a hugger.
You would not survive. I barely did.
The chat is asking you to take off the pot.
Okay.
I thought it was okay, but hey, if it's
Yeah.
trouble
Like
for
I
the
said,
chat.
Like I said, I'll take it off as soon as it's annoying and/or interruptive.
Hey,
Ah,
Andor
yes,
isn't
Flush
annoying.
Ale.
Andor isn't annoying. It's a fun planet.
It used to be.
Let nobody say that Timbledore Jägermeister von Glorious Borkenborg Wolfenstein does not have really good improv.
I don't think people would ever accuse you of that.
Exactly.
Oh, I thought Andor was the name of a planet. Apparently, it's the name of the actual character.
Yeah.
Anyways,
The twins, for
Okay,
their part, are just going to be making more puzzle boxes.
Alrighty.
oh yeah. Speaking of which, that actually is one of Rose's projects. Is making some matching watches. So at this point, it would just be taking her watch and drawing out a schematic of it. For something that she can use as a reference for crafting some more. Because she would need access to the forge, but the twins have been bogarting that for quite some time now. So she just needs to wait for him to either get tired of it or run out of bronze, excuse me.
Ah, yes. You guys. Running out of bronze in the foreseeable future.
I can dream.
You're the one who made it so that way you had all of the very workable bronze. You're in a situation of your own making.
No, you know what? What she needs
Suffering
to do
from
is she
success.
needs to go to the twins' production line and just slip in a few molds for the watch parts that she needs, and hopefully they'll just see him coming down the line and go, huh, I guess we're making gears now.
You could also just ask them, probably. That might be a very niche and not well known thing that you can do.
Bet she has the anti.
Yeah, that would require
Psychic ring.
taking the ring off, and she's not really in a mood to do that right now.
I mean, you do have a voice.
Sorry, I just I got a little sidetracked by IRL. What did I miss?
Oh, basically, Rose, talking about how, oh dang, she still needs to make stuff using the Forge, and I'm like, you could always try asking the twins. That's a not well-known tech. Just asking.
Yeah.
Especially
only
because you
reason
had
why-
a half hour now that you could have decided to go do that. But it was only when I mentioned wanting to do it that you were like, oh, right.
I had forgotten about the watch project until you said something regarding the puzzle cubes. Right now, she is actually very upset at Snow, Timber, and the twins. Only reason why she's willing to interact with Timber is that she knows that he already knows he fucked screwed up. He's wearing the cone of shame, therefore he's already owning that he made a mistake. So she doesn't need to rub salt in the wound.
I mean, the twins just followed orders.
Like good soldiers.
But yes, the twins making the puzzle cubes. That is going to quite obviously be craft check.
If I recall, you allowed the jewelry one for those.
Yeah. One for the metal smithing for the making a working product, and then the jewelry for making it like refining.
Yeah. Making it that perfect edge for them to just slide together so satisfyingly.
Yep, and also making
So-
it so that way, it's actually engraved and all nice instead of it just being panels that function.
Ah, yeah. Make it look fancy, more expensive.
Yep.
Because the whole goal with this is make money.
Yep.
They don't need money
So the
themselves,
metalsmithing-
but
Yeah, so the metalsmithing portion of it is the technical quality, and then the jewelry part of it is the engraving and fancification process. I remember last time you had some partial progress left over. What was that partial progress?
I have no idea. I know they have made 9 of them so far.
Yeah, and they were partway through another, but
For the sake of ease for the future, let's just round it off to the nearest.
okay.
Because, yeah, I have no idea how often these games go a while between them. I am never going to remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I asked for it to get written down, and then I don't know if it ever actually did.
If you had asked and I heard, I would have definitely written it down, but I didn't.
Yeah, it was probably on an after effect of oh hey yeah, write that down, and you probably just didn't.
I know I've got success of progress to next harness written down.
Oh, nice. So you just have a partially completed harness. Nice. It doesn't really matter that much. It wasn't much progress anyway, from what I remember. I just don't remember the exact number. So, let me go ahead and get that thing back open. All right. So you aren't rushing these, so you don't have to do the accelerated crafting. The craft DC for this was that. By the way, Pathfinder crafting, pretty funny. A lot of multiplying.
Yeah, there's a reason I'm trying to keep things simple with Scar.
Yeah.
Actually make it an enticing thing for them to get into rather than, oh god, so much math.
I mean, you don't like having to do long division to find out whether or not your shot lands? And if they have elemental resistances, then you have to do calculus.
Yeah. That'd be an interesting time.
Lightbop, please
Don't
be
get me
careful.
Sorry.
That was very loud.
Yeah, it kind of was.
I have no idea why my...
I think you need to invest in a better mic.
I've been told that repeatedly. I will be looking into it as soon as I actually have somewhere to live.
Anyway, that's
When it comes to it, the twins have very little else to do. So they're just...
I was about to say, I think this is their hobby.
Yeah,
This, like, is their we're traveling downtime hobby.
exactly.
And they have received a new thing. Because, of course, the dwarves of all people would go, here's your reward for beating this complex puzzle. Knowledge of how to make more.
And for the twins, that was a fantastic reward.
Oh, right. I was able to get those, the bronze plates for the, necromech forged, right?
The plates, I believe so, yes. 'Cause
Alright, so...
you had molds and it was just, like, real quick.
If time is going to keep going on longer than how long it would take her to copy over, or I guess reverse engineer, the specifics of her watch, then she's going to move on to working on the necromech, which would be a multi-hour thing. So Snow would probably be waking up at some point in time.
Well, can we finish what?
Yep, I was about to say. Going back to the active thing, I have finished doing all of the math.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were done with that.
No, because I was just pulling up all the formula stuff and plugging in all the results and rolls and price and all of that. So you're going to be traveling for a while there, twins. So I'm just going to say that this is going to be because crafting is normally done week by week anyway. We don't have to do the daily craft formula, so. You'll be able to make a total of 23 of the things.
Cool. I have noted that down.
I still think you should do the whole, one of them contains a platinum piece, 5 contain gold, 10 contain silver, and the rest are all copper.
I don't even know how much they're going to be able to sell these for. Which, I guess I should do an appraisal for that. Is that in here?
Might help.
Yes, there is appraise. Two different modifiers, but same result. They really are
insane. How many times has that happened now? Yeah, how many times has that happened now?
It happens fairly frequently, actually. This is a pretty common thing to have.
Tell Darius, when appraising the puzzle cubes, it's not required to taste them.
No, it is not. But also, like I said, I'm kind of sick, so.
Yeah, I'm a little bit sick myself, actually. I've just been muting my mic to cough. I got a lot of phlegm.
Yep. Anyways, these things are worth. You could sell them for up to 15 gold.
Understood. Oh, right. I gotta unlock it. So, yeah. I guess I could put platinum and stuff in them and try to encourage people to purchase them, but that's not much of a profit margin.
You have any idea how profitable gachas are?
You make a good point. The twins are going to start putting, they'll put 1 platinum into one of them. They don't have any actual silver on them. They'll put 3 gold into 3 of them. All their silver went to the dragon's hoard.
As it should.
Yeah. They gotta make sure their son is happy.
In their case, it's tribute. In Rose's case, it's protection money.
No, it's, allowance.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, the rest of them, they'll put copper in.
Alrighty.
I have subtracted that amount of coins. But I think that's it for the twins. That's what they're doing, so we can move to another scene.
Alrighty. Anyone else have something in particular that they want to be doing?
Possibly when Snow wakes up.
Well, like I said, you guys got quite a while of travel time. It takes actual time to go to places.
So in other words, Snow will be waking up within the first day?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which means that congratulations, you have the entire trip to do things. What do you want to do?
Well, that depends on what he has, because he's kind of in a cell right now. Because does he have his bag of holding?
I don't think the twins thought of taking all of his stuff, so probably. But they did melt the lock.
With acid?
You have to realize that we have previously used those two as arc welders.
Yes. They melted and welded the door shut. It is definitely not being opened in a normal way anymore.
Well, Snow will be doing 2 things. One, when he finally decides that most of the headache has gone away, and he'll just dump all his key points to wholeness of body and heal his wounds, or at least the lethal ones. And the subdue I'll just get rid of because that won't take long to get rid of. Snow is going to be starting the brew of those grapes. Of those grapes he found and acquired.
Oh, just using his portable kit while he's sitting there in the cell.
Oh no, he's got a full brewing kit. He's got all the brewer's tools in his bag, as well as the alchemist table. He's got both.
Legit, he's just setting up shop in the cell.
Oh, we'll get to the cell problem eventually, but first priorities first.
This is a matter of whether or not Rose notices. Remember, her workshop is in the brig.
Snow's not exactly going to be subtle because he's going to be needing to mash the grapes. And if you know anything about brewing, it takes actually a lot. It surprisingly not initially. It takes a surprising amount of prep time before you even want to start. So yeah, he's not going to be quiet.
Morning, coward.
Well,
Before you ask, no. Go on.
Well, I fought how I wanted to fight.
Uh-huh. The twins fought how they wanted to fight. Timber fought how he wanted to fight, and nobody has a single bit of respect for any of the rules whatsoever.
I mean, I followed to the letter of what I promised. I didn't use any magic or key.
Which is why I'm only calling you a coward and not a cheat.
And considering fighting things the size of Timber is a weekly occurrence where I'm from, you don't fight on their terms. You fight on yours.
Ordinarily, yes, but when you make an agreement, you should usually stick to it.
And I did. To the letter.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, are you here to gloat that I'm in a cell?
No. This is my workshop. You just happen to be in it right now. Speaking of which, I'm not the one who melted the lock. That would have been Betrayer A and Betrayer B.
I give it about a half a day before I break that lock.
Or, about 10 minutes if you just ask.
Where's the fun in that?
Not about fun, it's about efficiency. But, do whatever you want.
You see Snow is actually absolutely going to town, sterilizing every bit of his equipment. Which, as he just starts pulling out, you'll probably recognize them. The Dionysian grapes that he managed to get a hold of. Whether that perks your interest.
Those better not be stolen.
No. The priest made me a challenge.
Yeah, that sounds about right for him.
He would down a glass of wine, and I could pick as many as I wanted within the time he drank the wine. I had no reason to steal from anyone.
So basically, his sucker bet and your sucker bet canceled each other out, and you walked away with some grapes.
Yep. I have a feeling these are probably a little bit more special than regular grapes.
I have a feeling Bacchus was laughing his ass off about it.
Wasn't my wine.
That's not where I was going with that. Anyways, I need to get back to this. You're distracting me.
Very well. And Snow just keeps going back to work and will continue the brewing. Which I believe I've got to roll a brewing roll.
You would.
And I think we're going to have... I guess I'm not really doing anything interesting with this, so... roll that. 14.
All right. Now this is obviously you doing the whole week by week stuff, because this is going to be like an entire process.
Oh, definitely. It takes weeks before you... Yeah. And as for the door lock, he pulls out his alchemy table. I'm pretty sure he could whip up the most basic of acid to start melting the lock.
Probably, but here's a question. Do you have any sort of the quickened alchemy brewing stuff?
No. I don't have any, feats or anything like that. Just basic.
All right.
Well, to be fair, all you need to melt wrought iron is a hot sauce and a 9-volt.
Well, yes, but I don't think he has a 9-volt battery on him.
I think
Let me get my
electricity
gnomes
is...
on this.
I think building a salt battery, while entirely possible, I don't have silver or copper. Or sponges.
But, okay. I'd say that, it would probably take the better part of a day, especially considering you're putting a lot of your focus on the on some other stuff initially. But you would probably be able to get yourself out of the out of the cell without much problem, especially considering you just have all of your materials on you.
Yep, Snow will just probably at a bare minimum one day. Yep, you'll just notice that he's back in his hammock again.
The best part is that you probably would have had an easier time still just using Monk Punch to break the cell.
Iron bars have a hardness. I actually can't break through it.
Really?
Yeah, iron. Well, I could maybe do 1 damage, but yeah, iron I believe has a hardness of 10.
Go full Looney Tune. Punches as hard as he can, and he just starts vibrating.
Yeah, there's an entire chart for material hardness, and that's basically the equivalent of DR.
Yeah, and you're...
Yeah. It's just that I thought that you could actually deal because I knew you could deal at least some damage to it. That's why I was like, wait, really?
Yeah, no, I don't do a lot of damage. I just attack a lot.
Yeah.
You're a monk. Your fists bypass damage reduction.
Only if it's adamantium.
Adamantium or less.
I only have silver, cold iron, magic, and that's it.
Yeah, silver and cold iron. If you can bypass the hardness of cold iron, you can bypass the hardness of regular iron.
No, he's saying his fists count as that to bypass damage reduction.
Yes.
So
it's
something
not...
is specifically weak, has damage reduction / cold iron as the bypass, he would bypass.
Yes. I still have to, even if it was made of silver or cold iron, I'd still have to deal with the hardness of the material. Until my fists are adamantium, then what's hardness? But that comes much later.
But yeah, no. The reason that I was more bringing it up is, basically you could deal probably, like, 1 damage a minute. And, like, on average, you'd be dealing, like, 1 damage a minute.
Oh, definitely, but Acid's more fun.
That's fair. I was just more bringing up the fact that, like, you know, it would take you, like, a half an hour to punch your way out.
Oh, definitely, but this is softer on the fists.
Fair.
Don't worry, the wooden floor would be easier to punch through.
Great idea.
The wooden floor. The bottom of the boat.
Great idea.
Well, I mean,
Better
if you go
hope
through
that
the
this
floor
is-
of the brig, if you go through the floor of the brig, that takes you into the bilge. So technically, you could get out from there. It's just, you know, you'd be crawling through bilge water.
You know, on a wooden ship, that wouldn't be nearly as bad as I've worked on ships before. Active bilge water ships. Oh. No. But I guess Snow will just continue with taking over the kitchen and feeding the crew. And I guess he'll just be off the back of the deck. He will be fishing while waiting for his brew to continue on and finish.
All right. Any other travel time activities anyone wants to go ahead and go through?
Alexi? Gar?
I have a project I promised I would work on. That's going to take at least 4 days.
And
Well,
what
yeah.
project was that? Was that the linkage for Atlas?
No, that's going to take longer. Projects on projects.
Welcome to Rose's world.
And mostly just checking up on orphans, making sure they're doing okay with how people were leaving and...
Oh, yeah. Rose would be asking Sycamore to give No Name lessons on basic reading and writing. I get the feeling
Yeah,
he can't do that.
you already asked him to do that.
Okay. Just a reminder. I was worried I might have missed it.
Nope. You already asked him to do that.
And making sure the Hellhound's doing okay.
Yep. Well, I guess slightly in order there. The orphans have some of them are missing, like, you know, a very small amount of them left. Almost none of them did, but that still meant that, like, you know, some of the orphans had, like, you know, one of their friends leave. But, you know, they, considering that they also quite literally, you know, up and left some of their friends behind originally. It's not like a new thing, but they're kids. They're still sad about it.
Yeah, and some of them might be upset that the ones did the bets on the fight that happened, and hey, look, we lost the bet, so we're staying here.
Yeah, luckily only like 1 or 2 of them did that. But there is a decent amount of grumbling on the topic about those 2 that did that.
Wait. They only stayed because they still had a work debt?
2 of them did, yeah.
Aw. Rose would have been willing to give him an exception.
Well,
They made the bet between
Rose might have given them the exception. They weren't worried about Rose.
Timber's stance on that. Part of the ship, part of the crew.
They made the bet between the orphans, not between Rose.
Yep. So this was orphans being worried about having lost a bet to each other. And wanting to get out of it.
Once again, I'm not part of the cool kids club.
Weren't you just, like, trying to be referee with, like, a minor bit of bet staffing? Like, you weren't exactly, like, going around and, like, trying to put people in debt with the event.
Well, see, that's the joys of being the bookie, is that you can occasionally forgive betting debts in order to make sure that those people owe you favors in the future.
Well, yeah, but only if you're the owner of that betting debt. If you're just the bookie, you might not be the actual technical owner if there also isn't house bets that you're putting in, because then it's just bets with each other. You know, minus your cut. So you could, technically speaking, forgive a little bit of your cut, but that's about it.
What self-respecting bookie isn't doing house bets?
I'm just saying.
You specifically said you weren't.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I'm just saying, you didn't do any house bets, so...
Since when am I self-respecting?
Alright, I was just pointing out, like, you don't really have too much in the way of house bets or anything like that to, you know, forgive.
So has a day passed then?
Yes.
You're gonna remove that damage on Rose's intelligence? It'll let me. There it goes.
I've been trying to say multiple times for people that, like, you know, this is like the travel time section. You're doing things that you want to be doing during your travel time here. This is representing you guys going and crossing an entire section of the world.
Alright, then one of the things on her to-do list is, I'm sure that there's fish in the, supplies, right?
Yes, as that's one of the best ways to, like, forage and, like, you know, all that.
What's the biggest type of fish available?
Not very big, because they don't tend to catch very big things, considering most of the people doing fishing are, like, children and teenagers. You guys don't exactly have, like, absolutely, like, you don't exactly have, like, deep lures or anything. You're, like, catching surface fish.
We don't have woven to fish.
You mean fishing charges, right?
Actually, yeah, gonna go to Explosives Guy. See if he can whip up a depth charge for me. Something, you know, reasonably sized so that it won't kill the ship.
Okay, so no killing the ship.
And take some meat from storage, and she's gonna go shark fishing. Basically, just drag some chum on a line, and the moment that she sees a shark, throw the depth charge at it. Yeah, Lightfall just posted, shark bait, ooh ha ha, shark bait, ooh ha ha.
I mean, you're asking Olar for help on this, and the only thing that you told him that it can't do is blow up the ship. So I'm going to make 2 rolls here.
I had to close Fantasy Grounds, it froze on me.
Oh, Lord, just the kind of rolls I expected out of you. The first roll was me seeing how much he understood like the full intent of what you meant. Of which he rolled after modifiers a 3.
Oh, lovely. She did try to clarify that she's fishing, which means, actually want to recover the shark afterwards.
Yeah.
How many pieces do you want to collect?
I was about to say, you never asked for it to be in one piece just to get the shark after.
Well, so long as I can find all the pieces, I can assemble them, and sharks, they float, right?
Yep. And then for the actual making of an explosive, he rolled a 17 on the dice.
Oh no.
Which, after his modifiers, means, Rose, you're getting a very proud Alar that's going to come back to you a couple of hours later. With what looks to be it looks like some sort of metal container that's additionally wrapped in chains, with a kind of like cap and wick on one end of it.
Are the chains necessary?
The chains are load bearing, lass.
What?
Okay, I'm adding that one as a quote.
Is this the nautical equivalent of the Tsar Bomba?
Load bearing? What did you put in here?
A load.
He's gonna scratch the side of his head with a bottle, and just go, well, lass, I reckon there's explosives in here. I think it should explode. I'd be very upset if it didn't, actually.
Uh-huh. Just making a mental note to herself to throw it to the side of the shark when one comes after the chum, not directly at the shark. And by to the side, I mean whichever side is further away from the boat. Actually, you know what? She's not even going to throw it. She's going to use Svefenthorn to do a bombing run. Not a dive bombing run, because she doesn't want him within 100 feet of the water's surface when it goes off.
So,
she immediately does not trust this thing.
Considering the ship is moving, what is your plan for actually gathering what you kill?
We have at least one longboat, don't we?
We do, but are you gonna be able to catch up to the ship with that?
You need a net to gather.
Well, see, if people on board the ship refuse to slow down, furl the sails or come about, she can just tell Atlas to start rowing backwards.
Considering you have failed to communicate to anybody on the ship your plans,
Yeah.
Oh, well, she hasn't gone up to actually begin fishing yet. She'll let Timber know. She's about to use She's about to use munitions. He needs to be advised before things explode, otherwise he might fall back on training.
Yep, he would have taken a defensive maneuvers.
That, and also, not just munitions, she's using alarm munitions.
I was kind of hoping she didn't, so as soon as she's like, oh, hey, stop, Tibble, evasive maneuvers.
So, Jägermeister, I have an idea for a new type of weapon, something for just-in-case situations, and in the process, I'll be able to extend provisions with some shark meat. However, it does mean I'll need to be using this. Holding up the alarm bomb like it's about to explode in a second.
The funny thing is, it could explode at any second.
It could. As you hold it up, you do realize that now that you're like shifting the weight, that one end is heavier than the other.
Oh boy.
Timbo does the whole, like, he grabs the top of the cone of shame and pulls it down so he can look better.
Wolven double take.
Yeah. Yeah, so he one arm pulls the cone down, the other one lifts his visor a little.
Yep. The explosive looks like it's in a like a rounded cylinder type thing, with metal and chains encasing it.
So basically a modern beer keg. The aluminum kegs, you know?
A modern pipe bomb.
Yeah, but to
Oh, good
Timbo,
lord.
this is perfectly normal.
A pipe bomb made out of a beer keg. That would be dangerous. Nobody at home make that. Nobody. Bad.
Alright, what exactly are you trying to do?
I'm going shark fishing.
And this is gonna help us how?
Well, there'll be shark meat available for the carnivores on the crew, and I can use the bones, or, well, cartilage. It's not actually bone, but basically my idea is that I can animate a shark, stuff it full of explosives, wire it up to be a necrotic bomb, so if at any point in time we encounter another ship, I can send it towards the enemy ship and have it hit them below the waterline. Don't know whether or not it would be able to take out an Imperial ship, but we're not targeting those.
Meanwhile, the twins
And-
can just, don't need to breathe, can have a swim speed, and can literally just delete the bottom portion of the ship.
Yeah, Timbo was just about to say that.
Oh, fair enough. Carry on.
Brasilia, I'm pretty sure the twins already have that subsurface warfare all handled.
Diversification of arsenal. Also, it gives me something to do. I was wanting to be working on making watches for trading in the next town that we arrive in, but they've been using the forge constantly. Unfortunately, not needing to eat or sleep means they don't need to take breaks either, so I haven't been able to get in there to use it.
You can hear Timbo's stomach absolutely friggin' growling because he hasn't eaten in a couple days. Well, have you tried asking him to use the forge?
I'm not on speaking terms with them at the moment.
And, is Snow okay?
Oh yeah, he's up. He's been
I haven't left
around
my
it.
post in at least a day or two.
To my understanding, he's currently working on some brewing and fishing.
Timber, you would have seen Snow on one side of the ship. He's been fishing.
Oh, okay. I wasn't quite sure where exactly he was fishing.
I haven't seen much of Alexei, though. I know he got on board, but he's been off doing something or other.
I was just assumed he was messing around with the engines.
No, I would have noticed if he was working on Atlas right now. I would have felt it.
But yeah, Snow would see Timber's not wearing his armor, and he has this horrific gash on his chest that's purple and shit.
And that is why she has been deliberately making eye contact rather than letting her eyes wander anywhere else. Why could I not sentence that?
Well, we're
You were
kind of on
distracted
a...
by the abs.
Oh no, he's hot.
Okay, she may be a necromancer, but her standards aren't that low.
But anyways, yes, Rosilia, I understand wanting to up our arsenal, but one, we already have that covered, and two, I don't know how much time we have. I am currently juggling several different things, trying to keep every promise I have.
Yeah, part of why I've been trying to avoid making promises.
Wolven have to be extremely careful what they say.
Yeah, really careful what you say. There's multiple witty retorts I want to make towards that right now, but I'm sure you've already said them to yourself.
Better to kill it now than to let it fester. What do you wish to say? Unfortunately, Brutus isn't here to execute you, so you're free for now.
Not incredibly dishonorable how you handled that duel. This isn't to say that Snow was doing any better.
I've only requested help from one crew. Notice how I waited for him to use the bolts.
He was already fighting dishonorably, but
One
you allowed
moment.
yourself to sink to his level. He's
Oh.
roboting.
Back up a bit.
Yeah, you're good now. I think.
Well, yeah, it's not my internet, it's my audio device. I don't know why it's glitching like this today. It should be fine for another day or two. Just means that tonight I'm gonna have to restart my PC after stream.
Oof.
But either way, yeah, just back up a
back
little
to
bit there.
Yeah, Jägermeister, I won't deny that Snow was behaving dishonorably before you were, but that didn't mean that you needed to sink to his level. But I do suppose I should thank you. You made me realize that being nice and trusting people, they'll just betray you. But even still, thank you for showing me that there's still a part of me that could feel like this. Because now that I know where to find it, I've killed it forever. So, thank you. Thank you for freeing me. Yes, that was a sword art
No,
quote.
you were almost a person.
Well, Ozilia, I appreciate you, at least at one time, having a high opinion of me.
I still have an opinion of you that's higher than most other people on this ship. The sole exceptions would be Gar and Sycamore.
But it also showed me. Now I know why the Kaiserun has issued you guys to me. You're willing to do things that I cannot. And you can do things that I cannot.
Well, I mean, the Wolven are specifically meant to be a very specific type of weapon. Fighting back against that programming can be difficult. I actually do understand what that's like. I mean, look at me, hairfolk. we're basically genetically programmed to be afraid of everything.
And Wolven are made to do two things.
Fight and die?
Kill people and break their stuff. It's like page 1 of the Codex, if you ever looked at it.
You know, I wouldn't mind actually reading that codex at some point. Never bothered asking because, you know, I put it on the same tier as holy books.
Well, I do have a couple copies. It's probably one of the few things that
One moment.
survived engagement.
Okay, go ahead.
It was probably one
This
of
is
the few
annoying.
things that. Sorry. It
Just
was
go
probably
ahead.
one of the few. Yeah, probably one of the few things that my brothers had on them that survived the attack. It also makes a great bludgeoning device in a pinch.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard of people doing that before.
It's hard. It's hard cover.
Oh no, there's a Vulpin I heard about once. They got their hands on a knockoff of a dwarven brass book, basically like a limited function version, whatever. Yeah, no, they cleaned house with that thing, used it like a mace. To this day, I do not know if that story was fiction or not. And well, library got cleaned out when the estate changed hands, so I wouldn't even be able to find the book now to show it to you. Totally not referencing one of my first D&D characters.
References with you?
It's more common than you think.
Nobody
look, it's
makes as
time.
many movie references as you do.
Time to kill somebody with a book of grudges.
No, literally, I had a Vulpin character once upon a time. She had a knockoff version of a brass book that instead of containing all knowledge, it only contained Dwarven schematics, and none of them were translated, and she couldn't read Dwarven. But it made a really good melee weapon, and it was indestructible. And backsassed her whenever she tried to use it. That was a fun character. Anyways. So that's a no on the shark fishing.
Most likely not. I don't want to slow the ship down.
Enough. So what should I do with this torpedo? It's kind of already been assembled. I don't even know if this is shelf stable. Alar made it, so
Do you want me to just chuck it off the deck?
might be a waste of resources, but at the same time.
Yeah, so is blowing a hole in. Well, I mean, technically speaking, right now it's not an Imperial ship, so.
Oh right, yeah, the colors. Should change those back, shouldn't we? Pretty
You
sure
know,
that we're clear of the fleet.
The intrusive thoughts of
Oh.
Timble going, destroy this ship, it's not Imperial.
My fantasy grounds just crashed.
Yep, same here.
Yep.
I'm guessing we have lost Tau.
Looks like it.
More importantly,
mean-
when did we lose Tao?
It is a traveling episode.
It looks like, according to the timestamps, it was within the last minute or so.
We'll give him a few minutes, see if he comes back.
God has abandoned us. Repent. The end
Can
is
it-
nigh.
Can at least still
Oh, you-
roleplay.
Oh, you heretics, so silly. Afraid that your god abandoned you. I'm used to that.
Nope, see? God abandoned us.
I think we should just write it off as testing new equipment.
Yeah, I guess you could get a much farther throw than I could, couldn't you? Did you chain yourself to the helm?
Yes,
Why?
I'm not abandoning my post.
You
I
have
have
the self-control.
slept. I haven't ate. I've only drank. And I really have to go.
Look, Jägermeister, you... Just got done saying that I'm not going to care about people anymore, but I really think that you're punishing yourself harder than you need to.
Who else can take the helm?
I know enough about how ships work.
Probably.
Well, I'm successfully acquiring file list. I think it's reconnecting, which means he should be popping back into voice chat soon.
And there goes Conrad for now. He's off to make dinner.
They're dropping like flies. Alright, I'm back in, which means his computer is back up, so he should be rejoining Discord soon.
Well, Roselia can hear a very consoling stomach growl. And the temple who's just been standing out in the heat all day is basically just talking to temple vision. It's just like a freaking ham.
And think how bad it's cooking his head from the
Why is
metal around his neck.
Why is that making me think of Psychonauts? The clairvoyance ability? In the game Psychonauts, clairvoyance allows you to see through other people's eyes. And there's one particular character, the
Welcome
major or
back
whatever,
to Talgiers.
the super duper military dude. Yeah, when you see through his eyes and look at yourself through his eyes, you're just a ham. You're literally just a ham with eyes.
I thought that was if you did it on the bear.
Well, I know that the military guy, he's like super obsessed with meat because of a whole repressed memory regarding his dad who was a butcher and abusive, but
Hated that level so much.
yeah, I did too. Well, I know that there's at least one character or NPC that, yeah, if you use clairvoyance on them and then look at yourself through their eyes, you're just a walking piece of meat.
Hey, Tal.
Hello, I'm back.
We were just
Rosen-
discussing Wazilia wants to figure out what to do with this bomb, and Temple's trying not to eat Wazilia because she looks like washed.
See, this is where I'm really upset that I'm out of bits, because I know that there's a blurb for Batman. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. You know what? Let's just let Thorn carry it off a bit and then drop it.
It's okay. It's okay. I can. Temple starts unwrapping his wrist from the chain. I can chuck it.
And this is where he nat ones and drops it at his feet.
It'd be pretty funny.
Yeah. If I can get Fantasy Grounds to open again.
I just realized something. Only Timber, Rose, and Alar know that a massive bomb is about to go off next to the ship.
Yep.
No, the twins know.
Yeah, the twins do know.
Oh yeah, because she was talking to Timber, therefore they know. Yeah.
That and Temple's pretty loud. Also, Wolf and Captain, there's always something explode.
You know what? That's fair. Given the company we keep, it would be concerning if a day went by without something exploding. The danger shows no signs of showing, and so the danger must be growing.
The sad thing is, me in my chamber, hearing an explosion going off out there. Oh, that's just Alar. We're fine.
It's not the explosion you need to worry about. It's if there's a scream afterwards.
Or a soft oops.
Or Temple running.
For whatever
it's bad
reason.
if Temple's running by.
Okay, for whatever reason, after reconnecting, it opened several windows that I didn't have open before, and I can't move any of my windows. I can close them, I can click stuff inside them, but I can't open them. Move them, blah. You know what I'm... Freudian slip. I was opening the thing as I said that. Yeah, I can't move any windows.
But yeah, Taldarius, Temple is just gonna chuck this overhead off the backside of the boat.
Alrighty, give me that strength check.
Can you roll it for me?
Yeah, sure.
Because I can't open Fantasy Grounds right now.
I might need to reboot mine. My windows are messed up since the reconnect. Yeah, I'm just gonna reboot it real quick.
For the Kaiserin!
Feel the backhand of justice!
Oh no. Oh, okay. For a second I thought that was an influence.
Nope. Just Light Paw redeeming a tabletop pack.
Those always come up at the right time. Feel the backhand of justice! Chucks a bomb.
And I can't remember when it was that I did that. There was a time that Rose was going to backhand an NPC, and I specifically timed my redemption for that. I cannot remember when that happened. I know I did it.
I know there was one time Temple was talking to someone, and it was like a pause.
They started saying some heresy.
Yeah, it's like, no, Temple, don't slap him.
Feel the backhand of justice. Those always come at the perfect time.
Yeah, It's just Temple's intrusive thoughts being played by the twins.
Okay, my windows are draggable again. I'm good.
Huzzah.
Pretty sure I have it clipped from one of the Scar games where there was sniper fire and someone asked Zim to describe the aftermath, and at that point something I had redeemed a couple minutes earlier finally went through, and Zim was like, and what you see is, and then the clip played, game!
Nice.
Alright. So, Timber checked. Taldarius rolled for the throw. Are we all
Yep.
going to die today?
Thankfully not, because Timber actually rolled good.
And just how big is the boom?
Depends. Are you talking about horizontal or vertical?
Is it raining now?
Well, because what happens after
1
Timber
second.
chucks it?
As soon as Tal started talking. Go ahead.
A
Oh.
magnanimous dispensation.
Tochemay tipped $100. Razin contract.
Thank you
Oh.
so much for that tip, Tochemay. Thank you so much for the support. It means the world. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That is the tip goal fully completed.
All right, the anchors and sails. We'll note that for next time.
We're gonna get marooned again.
Don't worry, it might be worse. All right. Anyways, so as Timber goes ahead and chucks this, you'll see it spin through the air with its oblong shape multiple times. Although eventually it will right itself with what is obviously the heavier side that you felt before. And far away from the ship, there's going to be a small little splash as the explosive hits the water, and it sinks down slightly.
Maybe it was a dud.
And then a pillar of explosive appears, going high up into the sky, as well as what is obvious, down deep below into the sea.
Oh, see, he understood the assignment. She said depth.
Listen, please, excuse me. I'm gonna go get back in uniform.
Ah, Timber needs some alone time. 1 sec. Alright, you're good.
Avert your gaze! Ignore me!
I feel like one of these days I'm gonna find him making out with one of the cannons.
One of the twins right next to you just nods in agreement.
Who touched Sasha?
Who touched my gun? But yeah, no,
Okay.
there is still a slight amount of water that ends up dropping down, onto the ship. But that's more just because there was a massive plume of water following the explosion.
She's gonna scan the surface of the water to see if there are any incidental fish that got killed by that.
There are
Okay.
multiple, yes.
Don't forget to scan the surface of the ship.
Yeah, she's gonna send Svefenthorn out to start rounding up any floating fish. Should be easy enough to do. He's got his tail. He can use it as a skewer. And she will be doing a visual inspection of the side of the ship to see if there's any visible damage. Because there was a chain wrapped around that, so she's worried about shrapnel.
All right. Well, as you do, it's pretty obvious that there is no current new perforations to your ship, thankfully. Very thankfully.
Here's the important
Yes, there's
question.
now a large amount of various fish. Some in various states of togetherness, I think we could say.
Snow! You know how to prepare fish for storage, right?
He just looks down at the fish and usually the fish are more whole.
Some of them are whole. The ones that are in bits and pieces we can use as bait.
What do you mean? There's plenty of holes in these fish.
Yeah, they've been thoroughly blessed. They're holy. I may or may not be slowly turning into a wolven.
I mean, I'm going to either need a ridiculous amount of salt since you've turned them into a mince, or we can find a barrel and well, there's what we do is we ferment the fish.
Fermented fish?
You ever heard of Hakarl? It's usually shark, but
If it's meat-based, no. Probably not.
I mean, most peoples don't like the smell of it.
Well, I mean, if you put it down in the brig, I don't think anyone would notice. There's already a lot of rotten flesh down there.
Oh, you misunderstand the unique smell that this will permeate the ship.
Okay, then maybe do not make that thing. If it's worse than rotting flesh, then I don't think that Timber would authorize that.
That's the whole premise of the fermentation. It's just a form of controlled rotting.
Yeah, normally I call that mummification, but I feel like this is, judging by your description, this sounds a lot more wet.
Well, yes, you don't dry it. Look, if we were to make proper Hakara, it would have to be a shark. And then we would bury it in the sand and maybe come back to it in about a year.
Oh, I wanted to catch shark, but Timber advised against that. We were just disposing of it. This is incidentals. And I'm actually kind of glad that we didn't do the shark fishing because I get the feeling that it wouldn't matter how far away the shark was from the blast area, it would be in multiple pieces. And I kind of need a mostly intact skeleton for what I was wanting to do.
Well, as he just casts out again, one can always hope. As he just continues catching whatever
bites.
And if we ever come to a shallow area, you'll notice that the regular lure gets swapped out, and there's it's a horseshoe is put onto it, and it just drops it down, lets it drag for a bit, pulls it up, drops it down. Yes, he is magnet fishing.
Hey, you never know what you might catch. I spent an entire summer during my childhood doing exactly that. Not with a magnet. I fashioned a grappling hook. I lived in the inner city near a river, and a lot of stolen things ended up getting disposed of in that river. So you could dredge up all sorts of stuff. I managed to assemble not one, but 3 functional bikes from various rusted parts from bikes that I had fished up out of the river.
Hey, look, your magnet caught onto our anchor.
I would hope the anchor's not on the ocean floor when we're moving.
We had to get out of here quick.
Camera pan to the twins boogie boarding on it as it's dragged along the bottom.
No, that just means that we've got another player on the ship because they, dropped the anchor. Get ready for PvP, boys.
No, don't worry. He's just here to inspect the ship. That's a very fun TikTok series. But anyways.
Look, just gather up all that fish. I'll either find me a boatload of salt or I'll start making some.
Get your certified fresh snow leopard salt here.
You know, I need something to do.
Apparently Snow's gonna go play some League.
Hey, wait a minute. I just saw King up here on the deck. That means they're not using the forge right now. Okay, Atreus. Start sorting the fish by how intact they are. Put all the fully intact ones in one barrel, the bits and pieces in a different one. I'm going to go down to the forge, get started working on my watch pieces, and I'll put a pot with some seawater in it above that, so we'll get some salt for the storing the fish. There, multitasking.
The funny thing is, the other one's still in the forge.
I was about to say.
I mean, they're involved in two different. They're involved in 2 different parts of the process.
One just knew an explosion was going to happen, so one went to go check just to watch.
Yeah, because they share all that. The other one got to watch as well.
Yeah.
They had to record it for the Vine.
No, for the network.
Oh, she's just going to attempt to work around them at the forge. She is still too spiteful and She's still too spiteful and prideful to actually ask them to get off the forge for a while.
Yeah. All of your tools are just going to continually wind up missing.
She'll just improvise where necessary.
And then suddenly the forge goes out.
Do 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 do.
They are gremlins. They will make your life hell.
Well, using the chromatic armlet on fire to relight the forge.
And now the anvil is gone.
Yeah, that's fine. The forge itself is made out of sturdy enough materials. Not like I'm trying to make a sword here. These are tiny parts. They require light strikes.
Old strategy con.
And all of your tools are now gone. The tools
Like I
at
said,
least
I
could
can
fit into their
improvise.
cubby holes.
See, that's the point at which she'll just obtain the closest thing to the tool that she actually needs, and then just not put it down the entire time. Work one-handed where necessary. At this point, it's slowly evolving into a game.
Yeah, but as soon as your hand goes up, the piece that you're working with is gone.
As if she would take her eyes off of it.
Who said that they were waiting for you to take your eyes off of things? They got issues with you too.
I feel like I should probably maybe come back later.
Alexi walks in and it's just a bunch of you're
Walks into the middle of the-
standing on end from the tension.
He walked into
in
the middle
air.
of the three. He walked into the middle of the Three Stooges bit.
One sec. But yes, they are going to be purposely going out of their way to disrupt everything you're trying to do at every stage. And they're
Like,
not
can you
even
change the torch
hiding
or
it.
something?
I need to. I've got a cast that I need to make, and then I need to melt down some iron and pour it into the cast. So I need the crucible and the casting clay.
The crucible is now gone.
This is for the captain. He asked me to fix something.
They're being spiteful right now because I blocked them out of my head. Possibly other reasons too, but that's the biggest one as far as I can tell.
They shake their heads at you at that.
Well, I guess it'll forever remain a mystery because I'm not in the mood for 20 questions. Look, Alexei, if you're wanting to make something, you're going to have to convince them because right now, as you can see, they are making everything, plucking a piece out of the air, incredibly difficult.
Another piece goes flying off down the hallway.
Distant kobold screech.
I can see that. I don't need it right away. I guess I can work on the stock, but the captain asked me to fix one of the cannon Burgess is
Cannon
gone.
Gewer? Called a cannon gewer.
Yeah, that. So I need the crucible and the casting clay at some point soon.
Well, if you want that, you're gonna have to figure out what King and Nevis are all angry about. Like I said, I'm not going to ask them.
Okay, well, are you guys mad at me?
No. I mean, you haven't broken any rules of engagement lately, have you?
I don't know. I haven't read an Imperial manual in ever.
They are going to take all of Rosalia's stuff, as well as attempt to move Rosalia herself out of the area. So that would be a saving throw. DC
15.
25.
I feel like fails. Yeah, that was a crap roll.
So yeah, Rosalia and all of her stuff is being picked up and summarily dropped outside of the forge area. And they just pick up Alexei and move him over to the forge. And start pulling all of the parts out of all of the tools and such out of the walls.
Oh, cool. I need to make the cast first, and I'll just do that.
And then they stand guard.
No, I'm going to be borrowing your calcinator for a little while.
I think you're going to have to go up to the deck, because I don't think that also the twins have re-enabled the network with Snow, because he also was unconscious.
Well, not like Rosalia's in the network right now, anyway.
That's why she was shouting.
Mm.
Also, she doesn't really care whether or not he actually hears. You said that he has a fully kitted out alchemy lab, right?
He has a portable alchemy lab.
That means it includes a calcinator, which works just as good when you're making tiny components.
Well, that also is assuming that he left it out for where you could get it.
It's currently brewing. You have to leave it out while it's doing that. There's volatile gases.
No, that's the what is it? That's the brewing kit. The alchemy kit is different.
Well, are you... Okay, I guess a better question. Are you currently distilling?
No, he's still... The fermentation takes weeks.
Prepping.
Yeah. And part of the brewing tools is it's got its own...
Yeah, checks the lab, sees that it's still in the fermentation stage, which means that the calcinator isn't present. Alright, where's the dang cat at?
Oh, the barrel's not being left out. That gets shoved in his bag of holding.
So you just periodically burp your bag, then?
Pretty much.
Why am I just picturing him actually holding it like a baby and patting it? You gotta burp your bag of holding.
I was very clear on what he smelled like. He smelled like a brewery.
He always smells like a brewery.
That's why.
You got it. Congratulations.
Oh, because he's always brewing. Just his bag that stinks.
Yes, I didn't say that he was... It wasn't stale beer and, spoiled alcohol. It was he smells like a brewery. Because wherever he goes, he's probably brewing something.
She's gonna go looking for Snow, then.
Well, you'll probably find him in the kitchen, because if after all the fish, he'll start prepping as much as he can. The fish that has been turned into mince and questionable components, those will get used as best as he can. More specifically, immediately, as opposed to trying to preserve them.
The twins are going to close the door to the kitchen and hold it shut.
I thought the kitchen was open, was completely open.
Well,
No, there is
Check
a
the
door to
front
it.
side.
There is a door to it.
Do. Oh, that's notes. That's not images. Hold on. New ship. Give it a second to load.
There's a door to it.
Still loading. Yeah, there's a door to it. And it's actually directly across the hall from the brig.
It quite literally has a door to it.
Snow will just look at it and just, well, I guess no one's being fed today. Your problem, not mine. And just walks off.
Yeah, the twins are.
Oh
throwing
no,
a fit for some
they
reason.
they are closing it, while Snow's in there. They're denying access to Rosalia.
Oh, okay, that's different.
Yeah.
Snow, you got your alchemy kit in there with you, right?
Yes, just walk through the door.
Can't. Twins are holding it shut. They've been throwing a hissy fit all day. Anyways, so the twins have been hoarding the forge, and I need to work on some clockwork components. Wanting to use your calcinator. I have one in the lab, but if I had two of them, then I can actually do both stages of the forging process in production line, so it'd make things go a lot faster.
Are they going to steal it or wreck it?
So about that, is it actually bolted? Is everything bolted down in there?
If they start touching anything in my workshop, then it's going to be crossing a very significant line. It's one thing for them to be throwing a hissy fit, but if they start messing with my lab, then there will be bloodshed. And I will not be apologetic about it.
By the way, as for things being bolted down or not, a lot of times when it comes to this place, it isn't directly bolted down usually, unless it's supposed to be a stable fixture. But there are straps and screw-in areas for stormproofing.
They'll go the easier route. They're just gonna hold the door to the kitchen shut and the door to the brig shut, which is where her workshop is. And those doors are right next to each other.
And I'm back.
All right, welcome back.
You're really going to go full petty about this, aren't you? Just going to whip out the portal staff? And the door to the brig is a grated door, which means she can just aim through it. Yeah, she's just gonna use the portal staff to go through the grated doorway.
In that case, now they're going to start moving things off of the station in there.
Twins, Do you see me going into your nest and throwing things around? Whatever has you two pissed off, you can either just write it down or spit it out. But this is crossing a line.
They will... I'm going to assume there's paper on the workstation.
Oh yeah, because she regularly makes schematics for her various projects. She makes sure everything has a blueprint backup.
Then they are going to write out, you also crossed a line.
Would that be before or after you interfered in an honor duel?
They will write out after. Then they will write out, we were only following orders from the captain.
I was only following protocol. I explicitly stated that if anyone interfered, that I would take measures to stop them. You interfered.
It was not an honor duel when it was not respected in the very first place by Snow.
Yeah, Snow was behaving like an absolute coward. And then
It
Timber
was
sank
not
to
an
his
honor
level.
duel.
Right now, the position that I'm in is that I'm upset with all four of you. That entire situation didn't even need to happen, let alone go down the way that it did. It was a perfect eruption of all of the petty, stupid crap going on around this ship constantly. And as I'm just trying to get into my routine, when I could be being very petty, yeah, the pettiness continues. Heck, even with how pissed off I am at Snow right now, still willing to work with him in order to make sure that incidental provisions for the ship are processed properly. As pissed off as I am at Timber right now, I'm still willing to discuss protocols with him and actually make sure to get permission before, the munitions and stuff like that. Only reason that I'm not being that same way towards you two is because you two are the two that are being petty right now. So I can just be petty right back.
You started
Because I
the
am
pettiness.
tired of it. I am honestly tired of us behaving less like a crew and more like several rats shoved into the same bag.
Maybe you should consider your actions as well.
Consider my actions. So how long have you been using that forge? Other people on the ship use that forge as well. Are you considering your actions when you're hogging it for 2 days straight?
What we are forging is going to get money for everyone to be able to get better equipment. We don't really have a need for the money.
Do you even know what it is that I was wanting to work on?
When
You know what my
Alexei
project
wanted
was?
to work on things, we let him in.
No, yeah, yeah. Here, let me show you what it is that I was wanting to work on. Just slapping down the blueprint. I wanted to make a set of matching timepieces for the entire crew, or at least those who go on the excursions. So we can synchronize movements, so we have a feeling of unity, something nice, and so that if any one of us ever ends up waylaid away from the rest of us, it's something valuable that we can liquidate in order to get funds to survive on. That's what I was wanting to make, because I'm sick and tired of the division.
You are only creating more division yourself.
What the hell do you expect me to do? This is me putting in maximum effort to be very calm and patient. Do you have any idea how many times I've had to fight the urge to just start stabbing people? And I'm not meaning that hypothetically, I'm not meaning that rhetorically. I mean literally visualize the entire thing. I feel those thoughts encroaching constantly. This is me pushing back against them. This is me trying not to go down the route of the evil sociopath. I mean, just yesterday, I caught myself threatening to kill the kobolds in their sleep, and I was actually mentally going through the steps of how to do it.
Talk. And that's written all on one page and completely covering the page.
There's only one person that I felt like I could talk to, that I could actually open up to. And he left us to go chase a pot of gold. Every single time that I've tried to give somebody the benefit of the doubt, every time that I've tried to open up, it has bit me. Every single time. I opened up to Moriarty. He abandoned us. I opened up with the freaking giant. I tried giving him the benefit of the doubt. Wanted to actually negotiate on even terms. Screwed me. Tried talking to Sharon because I figured, hey, we're co-workers, and he might actually have some sympathy. Oh no! Not only does he not have any sympathy for me and my situation, he actually permanently double charges me now. That's why I'd always take 4 coins with me every time I die instead of 2. Try opening up to Timber, it ends up going into the Imperial Report. Try opening up to those knights, and now Shield Piercer is a thing. Tried opening up to Tunnel, and now I have soup instead of blood. I tried to trust people, and now I'm at soup, okay? That is my life.
Okay, that one's being quoted.
Yeah, that's that needs to be quoted.
I am done trusting people, okay? I am done giving people the benefit of the doubt. All I know are, I guess you could say, the corporate gestures. Can't feel any genuine unity. At least we can have some sort of superficial unity. Well, I'm thinking timepieces, because at least a military unit has some form of unity because they have common goals. Even if they don't like each other, they still fight alongside.
What about us?
Remember when I trusted you with my tab at the bar, and you tried buying the entire bar? Like I said, every single time I tried trusting somebody, I was stabbed in the back. And I physically run out of room for additional knives. The duel between Snow and Timber, that was just the last straw for me. I'm officially done. I'm done giving people the benefit of the doubt.
Tal, how much was the booze that they, took from the bar again?
Like, I don't think I had an actual, like, price written down.
They were floating entire kegs out the door, though.
Yeah, I was about to say, I didn't have, like, a price written down. I know how much you took. I could go ahead and calculate that. But, like, maybe at most, like, with the full price of things being, like, assuming you took, at worst, it's just going to be, like, 300-400 gold. At the absolute maximum.
Go ahead and calculate it for me.
Yeah, sure.
Pending that calculation, they are going to float some gold in onto the table and write out, "We are sorry that we pulled that prank. It was not meant to be as severe as it apparently was. Our bad on that."
What you need to realize is that all those times that you kept thinking that I was rather simple-minded, times that you've said there's not a whole lot going on, it's because I repress quite a bit. I bottle quite a bit. It's not the only time that something really irritated me, and I just did my best to stay calm and save face. And that is part of why I decided to get the ring. Because I'm tired of feeling like I can't be alone even inside my own head. I am a person who highly values my privacy.
The answer is 372 gold exact, by the way.
They are going to float in 500 gold.
Realize I'm getting a little sidetracked here. This is just turning into venting.
They kind of make a gesture of go on.
You want me to full-on trauma dump? Fine then. Can you even imagine what it's like when you're not even allowed to die properly? I've told you about what's on the other side for me, right?
They shake their head. You've really not told us anything. We've not told you anything. What we know is only what we've seen from your surface thoughts.
Oh, I already told Orchid. Might as well tell you. I have no intention on climbing the final tower when the time comes. My life, all the bad luck, all the horrible things that have happened, that's not coincidence. It's literally entertainment for Hades. I am literally a game piece for him. And it's a game with 100 souls involved, and we've been losing. And if I die, and you can't bring me back within a certain time frame, oh, I don't get an afterlife. No. I get reincarnated into another life if I'm lucky, which is just as cursed. If I'm not lucky, I spend the next millennium on a podium waiting in line to be one of the incarnations.
We've been trying to free you from that.
And you want to know the worst part, all of that? Here I am telling you all of this, all of the bald truth of the game, and my collar hasn't even twitched, which means he just finds it absolutely hilarious. He finds it hilarious that I'm laying the game out to you, and there's honestly nothing we can do. Nothing we can do to really change that. Like I said, just a game piece for his entertainment.
It's
Now,
not
don't mind.
hilarious to us.
Not hilarious to me either. But he's laughing it up. If you don't mind, I would like to make some watches so we can at least pretend to be a harmonious crew. All I've been trying to do all damn day.
If you actually want harmony, we all need to sit down and talk. And they're going to just float off after that.
Dad, I need moral advice.
What was that?
Dad, I need moral advice.
All right. It does take a few. It does take a little bit for your dad to get there, but that's also probably because he tends to, especially like when the ship's like at sea, try to at least moderately keep some of your urchins in line. It's
He's a
rather hard for
nanny.
him to do it, but he'll make the attempt.
He's a nanny. The polter nanny.
I
Nanny
was going
guy?
to say, how loud were you with the twins, and would Snow have heard that conversation?
Not
It was right
their,
outside the door of the kitchen.
and definitely not
Remember, the
their
brig-
side.
Okay,
But
you
yeah,
would
the
you would have
brig-
heard at least Rosa's side, which was somewhat more of the important part.
Yeah, the brig's right across the hall from the kitchen, and it has a grated door, so zero sound insulation there. The only layer between him and her would have been the wall.
And we're on a ship. The internal walls
Yeah.
are insulated with hopes and dreams.
Hopes, dreams, and just enough structural support for the ship to work.
I just realized something. Yeah, where they were having that conversation, there's a grate almost directly above the brig. So I picture that there were several urchins on the next floor, the next deck up, just with their ears to the floor.
Probably like 90% of the crew has heard about all that.
Except for Temple, because he has tinnitus.
Yep. Also, he's literally as far away from this conversation as you can be on the ship. Because this is happening in the front bottom, and you're in the back top.
Yep.
Well, yeah, but our specific party only accounts for like 5% of the crew.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying Timber is like the one person who is like also probably as far away from possible as from this conversation as he could
Completely
be.
oblivious.
So I hope that I was giving a sufficiently convincing performance the entire time.
Oh yeah, you were. Good job.
A plus.
Rose, if you'll notice that any working that might have been happening in the kitchen has stopped. I don't know if when you decided to notice it, but Snow was probably standing by the door listening. And the only thing he's going to say is, if you're a slave to the collar, I have my own bonds. At least the ones I think of.
How much of the conversation did you hear? And if you say enough, I'm throwing something sharp at you.
I can't hear what the twins were saying.
To be fair, I can't either. They were writing notes. Using all of my expensive parchment.
Hey, they left you more than 100 extra gold. Don't even.
And to be fair, you also got
I can't restock until we next make port.
You also got a significant amount of gold from Snow because I've been booted out of Fantasy Grounds and apparently I can't rejoin.
Yeah, I haven't been able to open mine back up. I've been trying this entire time.
Oh dang.
It says that it's been saying that I'm still part of the game. Okay, I'll try again.
Oh, then complete. If that happens, completely like task manager close your Fantasy Grounds. Try again.
All right. How much gold did the twins leave behind?
500.
500.
They only.
That's easy math.
It was only like 3 something that they owed.
374. The 372.
It was less than 400.
It was like 374, 372. Yeah, it was less than 400.
Well, I'm only adding 498 to my gold pool because I'm going to be setting aside 2 gold coins for something. Specifically 2 gold coins from that 500.
All right.
Look, I don't fully understand most of what you said. The magic stuff is not my specialty at all. The only thing I caught is you're a slave to that collar.
I'm a slave to Hades. The collar is just a symbol of that. It's also the only thing keeping me alive. I mean, theoretically, if we got rid of it, I could survive. But that's 50-50 because I'm already half undead at this point because it's slowly turning me into a lich. And besides, even if I did manage to escape it, magic is basically the only thing that makes me of any worth these days. And I can't do that with my own body anymore because, for hairfolk, it's in the antlers. I can't even feel magical fields without channeling it through the collar anymore. Completely numb.
Well, I'll take your word on it.
Which the twins also tried to help with that.
She's not in a mind state to recognize that at the moment. She's having her victimhood arc. Leave her alone.
They will not.
Look, take my word for whatever you want. Apparently, you're not in a very trusting mood. That thing is an affront to me, as he points to the collar.
Oh, it's an affront to you.
Well, yes,
You know what?
and I'm sure it's
You
an
know
affront.
what?
It's an affront to you as well.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just.
It's the slavery part, not necessarily the.
No. I get that. It's just. I don't think I've ever needed a drink more than I do right now. Because I am just.
Snow pulls out the Dionysian ale that he's been hiding in his, and he just puts it out in front of you. It's my last bottle.
Not wasted drunk, just de-stress drunk.
I didn't say you had to drink at all.
Just.
To be fair, a drop of that would probably be enough.
Oh no, that's the ale, not the holy water. Two different things. If it was the holy water, yes, that's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, even Dionysian ale.
This is basically just like extremely high quality.
Not the dabble, do you?
Some of Vesk's words have been going through my head lately. To paraphrase a bit, we aren't a team. We're a chemical reaction that creates chaos. Marvel's quote.
Higgy-gog-gog!
Well, if nothing else,
We
I
need-
showed the cracks. I think that
You challenged Timber to a duel just because he hurt your feelings. The twins jumped into the middle of a fight, even though they shouldn't have. But then again, they did it because, well, they were following orders, which is a good thing, but... things are only going to get rougher. It's part of why I wanted to get some of the orphans off the ship. And if we can't start pulling the rope in the same direction, we are all going to die screaming at some point.
look at the life we live, that's usually an inevitability.
I just can't shake the feeling that at some point in time, we're going to end up turning against each other at the wrong moment, and then I'm gonna die for real and come back as something much worse. And I don't know if I'll still be me at that point. Foreshadowing is a narrative device in which...
Well,
the twins had a point, though, with one thing they said. We do need to actually sit down and talk about it at some point. Have a powwow or whatever.
I mean, I'm over it. Why dwell on something that's already happened?
There's a difference between being over the problems and actually making concerted efforts to understand and work with one another. Because our personalities keep clashing over and over again.
Look, I've only been here for a few days. I have a feeling that I was just the tipping point.
For no fault of your own, you're like a mishmash of an echo of two different people that have previously been on this ship, who are both gone now. And it's forcing those memories to not be able to be pushed to the side.
Well, talk about them.
In terms of their relevancy to you, or in terms of why it is that there's tension around that?
Start what you think is more important. As Snow sits down, it actually pops the cork off of it and puts it down in front of Rose.
Well, one of them. Stop me when this starts sounding familiar to you. Had a very rough childhood. Spent most of that childhood being nurtured into a weapon. Decided to go his own way. Turned against the people that were training him. Ended up being at great odds with said people. Well, there's a deviation point here in which, he died and came back as an undead abomination. Abomination even by my terms. And tried his best to do the right thing, but kept making screw-ups along the way because he was so obsessed with freedom that he wasn't thinking about consequences.
I think he tried to stop you, like, a sentence in.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Just making
when
sure.
I think when this sounds familiar, she was being rhetorical.
The attempt was made anyway.
Just making sure you heard.
Yeah, it kind of stops at about the unhappy childhood. That's kind of where things, some of it picks up at a certain point. There's definitely no, definitely no.
So at what point does he take the Dionysian ale and switch it out for the stronger stuff?
That's all he has. It's literally his last bottle. He ran out. He did not have a chance to resupply, so to speak. Which this is going to be a rough few days. There are actual consequences for certain things.
It's worth noting, by the way, that individual also wanted to duel Timber because of a perceived slight, and also had a habit of not following anyone's rules but his own. Last I saw of him, he overdosed on drugs and then went missing.
So an undead. I think he was. I'm assuming undead.
He was a proto-wraith.
Whatever that is, I'm pretty sure undead.
Black swirling clouds, skull face, glowing eyes. Pretty unique visage.
Look, I can be capable of following orders. Maybe what I did was, perceived as selfish. The very idea.
You went bucket crab.
I am quite familiar. I say crab baskets all the time.
You say that too, huh? Sorry, I had to. There's an opening for a DBZA reference.
Look, the slight, yes. Personally, I don't think Timber respects anyone that's not a heretic. Or that's a heretic.
I was about to say. It's also worth noting he physically cannot refuse any challenges that are given. It wasn't a matter of ego or pride or anything. Once you challenged him, he was required to accept the challenge.
Oh, I was kind of counting on that.
Yeah, see, I try not to take advantage of the mentally disabled.
No, Look, to be quite simple, I'm going to give you a little hint. Not a big fan of the Kaiserin. So far, I see just a bunch of slavers running around, taking what they want.
My personal view is that it's a necessary evil. Doesn't mean I agree with their practices or how they do things, but I do agree with their results.
I think we're going to agree to disagree.
The moment that I see that fleet, that HKO fleet, mighty, proud, majestic, going to take on an Imperial fleet, a single ship from that armada would have been more than enough to fix all of the problems on Lagos. And as clearly evidenced by them going right by the island, it's not like it'd be a big detour for them. Where were they over the 10 years that my people were dying? My people were suffering for ages, barely getting by. But there it is. There's the key part. Barely getting by. They weren't profitable. So the HKO didn't care. So long as the people were surviving, that was enough. It didn't matter that they were suffering all the time. At least in the Imperium, they handle internal security. What does that say, honestly? When the obviously evil people at least take better care of their citizens than your own empire does.
Just a different form of evil.
At least the Imperium doesn't play pretend like they're holy. I realize how that sounded as I said it. You get what I mean, though. They recognize what they are, and they don't try to hide it behind a smile.
Well, I'm just... Maybe there are ways to change it. The slip was intentional.
Right, what was the slip?
He said I.
I on the what part? It honestly went right over my head.
Oh,
Something that
okay.
Rose would have noticed. I'm going to need you to explain it to me.
He specifically said that not necessarily we, but he said I, but then hesitated for a moment and said we might be able to change something.
We literally saved the city of Relago from an undead invasion. We solved a decades-old murder case of one of the royals. And yet still, we were barely given the time of day after they paid the bounty. They just threw some money at us and then sent us on our way. Admittedly, I think that's actually the most gracious thing that they know how to do, but that in and of itself is the I guess the hilarity of it. The only type of kindness that the prince understands is money. It's also the only type of leverage that he understands. And it extends all the way through the rest of their hierarchy.
Out of game. As a reminder, to be fair, he also did literally give you a mostly unquestioned writ of religious practice for necromancy throughout the HKO.
Yep. Oh yeah, the prince is actually very grateful, but she is again not in a mental state to be processing that.
That's fair. I just wanted to make sure that was specifically Just reminding that just in case.
Remember, I'm playing the part of the character, and she's pushing back against the evil thoughts.
Yep. Nope, just wanted to make sure that was remembered. Technically speaking, hasn't really come up since, because when I say
Thankfully, I
sense,
was
I
able to
mean,
understand that sentence, but it was very robot.
that might be my internet trying to die again.
You're back good.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, no, just me reminding because it hasn't come up in a while.
Anyways, we're talking in circles. I've got things I need to do. Like figuring out where Dad's at. I asked for him a minute ago, but I swear if one of the urchins put him in a salt circle again, I'm going to throw them overboard.
He puts the cork on of the bottle, and he still hands it to you.
Thank you. I guess I'll be drinking this later. Just...
The trick is to be better. Maybe build something better than what already exists.
Problem with that? It physically hurts to be nice right now. I'm not being coy or metaphorical. I mean, like, it literally is physically painful.
Well, at the very least, you still have a heart. Because you're trying.
Yeah, you do realize that it basically doesn't beat properly anymore, right? So I only have a heart in the metaphorical sense.
Well,
Like, go on, check my pulse. It's no longer dump. It's more like bump ba bump bump. Sounds like a.
Take your word on it.
Honestly, it
Soup
sounds like somebody trying.
sounds.
Honestly, it sounds like my heartbeat sounds like somebody trying to play Hall of the Mountain King at 1/4 speed. It's really interesting.
But to be back on.
Yeah, sorry, humor. Trying to bring
the
levity.
wording on that collar of yours. I know the twins couldn't very well read it. Maybe someone who can. Assuming that you've tried finding someone who could read it.
It's an extremely ancient dialect. So you would need to either find a archaeologist that specializes in it, or talk to a god or ageless being. Or hey, if you ever find the dragon that our dragon came from, because we did find him as an egg. Maybe like, hey, look, here's your son back. Yay, family reunited. So since I've got a favor now, could you translate my collar?
I mean, the old master back at the monastery, he's old.
That's
What
kind of in the
language is
name.
it?
Yeah, Taldarius, what language is it? You said it was an extremely old dialect, but...
It's extremely old Celestial.
Yeah, it's like ancient dialect of Celestial. So like if you speak Celestial, you're able to like get the gist of it, but it's like reading something in Old or Middle English.
Like reading Chaucer without a filter.
I mean, the twins they do know Celestial.
Yeah, so I'm saying like the twins could read the thing, but it would be like trying to read Middle English, where there's just going to be words where you look at that and it's like, what the actual hell is that supposed to be?
Yeah, isn't Middle English actually closer to German than Modern English? Like, I've seen some writing samples of Middle English, and it just looks like German to me.
Look, I don't know what the old master is capable of doing. He's old. The monastery is also a place of learning and fighting
Also,
and learning to fight and fighting
and
learning.
a place of finding your inner calm.
Let's not get that far.
Well, I'm talking about its intended purpose, not what it did for you.
Have you ever tried to read a book where you're also fending off two people trying to attack you?
Were you not at the forge half an hour ago?
No, I mean literally, you're trying to read the book while you're learning in a classroom while also sparring.
Okay, you've clearly never been in a hairfolk household. You know, before everybody died or moved away, it was quite chaotic.
I'll take your word on it.
There's a reason why the term breed like rabbits exists, okay? It becomes ingrained into your culture when you start rapidly dying off from all the environmental hazards that the kingdom refuses to do anything about.
I can't change what the kingdom didn't do, but at the very least, we did something good. You came back to help your clansmen when you were able. To hell with whatever that HKO couldn't do or too lazy to do.
Too skinflint to do. You know, I never did get back that survey report. he's probably just standing on the end of the pier with the most confused look on his face right now. And I'm the moron that paid in advance.
Cut away to a
we
very confused surveyor who had walked onto the ship to find somebody to deliver the report to right before we cast off.
Nah, but Rose will probably have that get the report delivered later anyway.
You're free to go ashore the very next time we make port.
Ah! We got a stowaway! Brutus, shoot this! Aw.
Don't worry, there's a very successful necromancer that could be given.
But yeah, in ATA, I went ahead and posted examples of Old and Middle English. It's like slightly more understandable than Old and slightly less understandable than Middle. You could like squint at it and like understand the gist of things, but it's like, wow, okay.
Those sure words.
Old English is definitely more closer to German and Latin.
Well, that's because English is a Germanic language.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's literally a Germanic language. It's not a Romance language.
Okay, I'm gonna stop trying to read that now. It's hurting my eyes.
Look, if you can properly read what's on the collar there and get the actual understanding of what it means, it could be a leg up. It's a place to start. Better than nothing.
Yeah, it probably just says, if found, please return to River Styx.
Turns out
that's a
super scandal. It actually says property of Persephone.
What a twist!
Look, it's your choice to do what you want. That's my beliefs. You're free to do nothing. You're free to do something.
I just realized something. Age. Ancient. Oh. the other souls trapped in the game, or fragments, I guess. One of them is quite a bit more exceptional than the others and quite a bit older than the others. I don't know how I know, but I just know. They're a polyglot. Again, I don't know how I know, I just know. So if I can make a beeline straight for that crypt, I don't know if 8 minutes would be enough. Then again, time does pass differently there. If I wanted Sharon to pad the clock, though, I'd have to bribe him. I do have a lot of gold on hand now, though. Snow,
Good
memo, we need to kill me after the meeting.
Have you fixed the thingy that keeps you from dying permanently?
What? No, I'm talking about getting the collar translated.
I was talking about what the thingy that blew up in Timber's backpack that you were slightly perturbed about.
Just slow dawning realization.
Dot.
Would you believe me if I told you I forgot all about that?
Go. Be free. Rebuild the thing.
You know what? I just got done building something that's specifically designed to be incredibly durable. It needs a centerpiece. Okay, so put a pin in putting lethal pins in me. I need to rebuild my phylactery. That's going to take a little while. Then we've got the meeting and kill me after. Okay, I have a plan. Plans are my happy place. That's there. I'm better now. I'm calmed down. Because I have something to focus on. See? Cork's back on the bottle. I'm back to bottling the emotions again. I am fine.
So when is Sycamore going to show up?
I was about to. I did just say, it would literally only take a couple of minutes for him to show up. He's there now. He's just not.
You never had him saying anything.
No, he's not saying anything because Rose is opening up to someone else. Do you think he's going to interrupt Rose actually, talking with someone? That's not him?
They grow up so fast.
Look. Come back if you ever need to actually uncork the bottle and let the emotions out.
Yeah, I'll do that. I just have to go and just turns the head towards her lab and oh, that's ectoplasm. Ew. Sorry, Dad, didn't see you there.
Sycamore there's probably already making wedding plans.
I was about to lean on you for a moral decision, but I think I figured it out. I've actually got a light at the end of the tunnel again. I actually think I have a game plan. I need to go.
You're welcome. See, talking things can be helpful.
Well, Rose, if you have something figured out, I'm very glad for you. You can talk to me whenever.
Speaking of, the orphans, they haven't been messing with you with salt lines again, have they?
They sometimes try, but they don't know how to do it in a way that actually matters.
Why do I get the feeling you still pretend to be trapped just for their benefit?
Well, I do want to encourage at least some of their creativity.
I would pat you on the shoulder, but it would just go right through. Anyways, yeah, lab.
You were already in the lab.
Yeah, I was about to say, Sycamore's just going to point right to the table that, you're right next to.
Probably
Yeah,
still
she's just
littered
been
with
focusing on it.
notes from the twins.
Yeah, she's into her own Alexi state right now.
Which is why he's not saying anything. He's just pointing right at the table.
What you don't realize is that she just put some pieces together that she can use one of Hades' own pawns against him. Which is honestly something that's been a back burner thing for a while. I just needed a situation in which Rose actually realized that she had that card to play.
Yep. But like I said, Sycamore, he's just pointing right at the table because he knows his daughter. He's recognized. Oh, okay. Yep. Nope. Just points.
This episode's been 80% Rose, so whatever other people are doing.
Look, the last session was 80% snow.
This is true. Next week, 80% Gar.
I would love it if we had an episode that was just like
Oh.
80% Gar shenanigan.
Wait, no, I forgot. Next week is May the 4th.
Yeah. But that's also presuming
still-
quite a lot that we'd even have a session 2 weeks in a row.
This is true. But no,
Don't you
if
put
you-
that evil on me, Wiki Bobby.
No, see,
Don't
if
you
you're
put
having
that
to-
evil on me.
If you're having a Star Wars game next Sunday, then Gar can still be there. He can have a cameo as a Wookiee.
Not quite.
I mean,
Wait, is he
I'd
actually
be
part of the
up
Star
for...
Wars game?
No.
He was going to be, but then he had to drop out.
But, I mean, I'd be up for cameos next week.
I'm gonna be knee deep in mud playing paintball.
Yep. Although I will remind people we are pretty much right at time where I like have to end.
Yeah, I kind of don't have
I
any
will-
time for anybody other than Rose this session.
I will
wasn't
leave.
expecting to trauma dump.
I was going to say I will leave on one note because Snow's realized that Timber has not been eating food. Look, there's vegetarian, non-vegetarian, and the bucket.
And he noticed that the bucket has not been emptied.
Yes.
This
Where-
is a bucket.
No.
Oh no!
There's more.
Please do not give Timber another weapon.
Oh no! The bucket is actually filled with the food. It's just the bucket is timber sized.
The bucket is a
No,
weapon.
There was
Imperial
there was a-
grade.
There's a joke that Timble one time freed himself because the storyteller was dumb enough to give an unarmed Timble a bucket, and he was able to break himself out of jail
Yeah.
because of it.
Yeah, it was a previous game. I was playing Rose, but it was a previous incarnation. She was a monk that time, actually, oddly enough. Yeah, she tried to restrain a guard against the bars, and Timber, he went for the lethal option.
Anyways, Snow is going to if Timber hasn't been eating, is he still at the helm?
Yep, he's literally chained to it.
He has chained himself to his position.
And he's been there for at least a day or two.
Oh, that's right. Timber can't read, and Snow can't write a language that you can read.
Especially
He doesn't.
Celestial.
Snow can't write Celestial.
Yeah.
He. Unfortunately, the note will probably be lost on Timber, but Timber. I mean, I could roll a stealth roll, but I don't think Timber could possibly.
No, yeah, Timble. One, Timble's focusing on his task. Two, he hasn't slept. Three, he's literally wearing a thing around his head.
Yeah,
So
Timber.
yeah, easy to sneak up on him.
Yeah, no, Timber, there will be a note on there. And there will be, well, the bucket, which is not just the food scraps and all the garbage. It's actually all the real food. And there'll be a small barrel of water and the note.
He's wearing the cone of shame. Just pour the food into the cone.
I'm pretty sure the smell alone is going to get Timber's attention.
Yeah. He's gonna look down, and it's the fish bucket and what? Waddle?
It will be a good portion of the fresh fish, and basically you got a giant fish pie.
Alright, cool. Timber's gonna take the waddle and, like, dump it into the bucket and, like, make a soup and just chug it.
You know what? Why not? We'll let the dice decide how well he did that, because I feel that's necessary.
Fair.
Yeah, roll for me.
Oh,
Looks like you did it pretty good.
Oh yeah, no, nat 20 on the food. That could very well be some of the best things that Timber has ever eaten.
Yeah, it definitely was. Except for the baking that Vesk did.
Yeah. Who unfortunately is no longer on the ship.
Look, baby steps, man.
Yep.
I only get
All downhill from here.
I only get 5 skill points per level. I have so many ways to go. What Timber does with the dope
A
is
single
up to him.
teal. Oh, he ate that too.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, a single tear runs down his ironclad face. But now that he has calories, he can keep making sure the boat doesn't veer off course. Not sure who gave it to him. He's just assuming it was the twins.
Could have been the Kaiserin herself, for all he knows.
It would have been more explosive.
That comes later.
I'm glad I'm in my uniform.
Well, Timber has successfully been nutritioned.
Refueled. Refuel complete.
Yeah.
Snow is not cleaning up that bucket.
Oh, the bucket is clean.
Timber knows better than to leave a mess.
I was more worried that he's not leaving the post, and now he has a bucket. I will not elaborate further.
No need to. It's understood.
And don't worry, he's already wearing a bucket.
It's my comfort bucket. More metal.
Yep. Got that Imperial grade helmet.
That he do.
I mean, to be fair, everything in the Imperium is typically made out of stone or metal. So, the more metal things Temple has, the happier he is. Imagine a boat made out of wood.
So, who all is on the top deck, by the way?
I'm gonna say the twins are. Well, more specifically, they're up in their tree.
Okay. Twins are in the tree. Timber and Snow are both there. Gar was checking on, like, a lot of people and things and stuff. So would Gar be up on the top deck too?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Snow would have disappeared down below deck. He would have literally climbed the side of the ship and snuck up, dropped the bucket off, and immediately ran back into a porthole that he left open.
Meanwhile, Rose is in her workshop in full flow state trauma response.
Alexi, are you busy being unperceptive in your own flow state?
Fun fact, in psychology, flow states are actually strongly correlated to suppressed trauma. It's a form of escapism.
Nightfall?
I think I was in my own flow state.
Well, nice. So does that answer my question of if Alexi was busy flow stating below deck?
Absolutely.
He's getting into the character.
Yep, he's just method acting, guys.
Yeah.
All right. So in that case, twins, Timber, please give me some perception checks. Timber, please make it at disadvantage due to cone.
Can you do it for me? I literally can't open fantasy.
Oh, you still can't open it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been trying this whole entire time while you guys are talking. I
Wow,
closed
damn.
it. I Microsoft Task Manager all. Yeah.
Dang, that's okay.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
I even updated it.
I'm gonna soul the one.
You wish.
Wrong system.
Well, I mean, if you want souls, I think I've got a few spares.
Well, either way, Nevis would definitely be able to notice, anyway. And Timber, funnily enough, even with disadvantage, when I was rolling for you, you rolled a 18 and a 20, so...
It's because I am vigilant.
Yes, you are vigilant. Especially considering this, you are very capable of seeing that, in the distant horizon, there is another ship right now.
Is there a smokestack coming from it, or is it a sail ship?
It's probably, well, it's definitely a sail ship. You see one, there might be more than that. It's hard to tell at this distance, but it's either a multi-masted sail ship or it's a couple of single-mast ships.
Twins.
It's hard to tell at a big distance.
Twins, you probably know, but I think I see ships on the horizon.
Yes, we do see it.
Can you take a look to see what banner they're flying?
They will fly off to do so.
All right. As you fly off, you will notice a couple of interesting things. There are multiple ships there, single mast. They seem like they're actually rather full of people. This does not seem like it's these are lightly crewed vessels. And that the flags that they're sailing are flags that have it's like a pure white flag with the, what's the word for it, emblem of an anchor on it.
Do they recognize that?
Go ahead and make me a knowledge check. Which one would be best? Knowledge local? What's subset?
He can probably cross-reference it with Temple knowing at least the big actions.
Yeah, it'd be local. All right. With that, you would know that this is a version of the flag of so to the south, one of the southernmost factions actually is a faction of pirates called the VAAS. It's an acronym. Which
you brought me a present.
Which is a mistranslated version of what they call themselves, which is the anchors and sails. However, if they're flying a white flag, they are currently on a quote-unquote trading expedition, where they're trying to sell off what is very obviously pirated goods, but everyone pretends like they're not, and they're just traders.
Understood. They will report back to Timber with that information.
How many ships?
I was just about
3.
to ask. 3.
3 single-mast ships.
They just give him full views of the ships. You know, what they saw.
Remember how earlier I wanted to make 3 torpedoes? Well,
Yeah.
well. Well-a-tee.
And
would you like us to sink them?
You know, inner monologue of Timble.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, Kaizuan comes, over his shoulder. It's like pirates dissolve to sink.
Understood. We'll go sink them.
Oh, yeah, they can hear your inner monologue, Timber.
Yeah.
Well, when the only other thing that his inner monologue is just elevator music, yes, anytime a thought comes in, it's very loud.
Hold up, twins.
They'd already started flying off, but they will stop.
If they fire upon us for flying an Imperial flag, then sink them.
Understood. We will go camp on the undersides of their ships.
Temple will unravel his chain and yell down to the people below deck. Everyone on alert! Pirates on the horizon!
So when this thing holds together, and hopping into her power armor, which is like 95% done. I believe it takes 1 hour to assemble a phylactery, so however much time had passed.
Also, you probably, if you keep working on it while the ships are not, currently, because it's going to take time for the ships to meet up at all. So you could probably have it finished by the time that you, the ships actually...
As soon as Timber calls out the alert, she is actually going to take off the mind shield ring and ask for a status update.
That
Well, I
does
guess
not
depends if the
automatic.
twins- Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
that depends if the twins let you back in.
The twins are very specifically avoiding Rosalia's mind at the moment. So I don't think they'd even be listening, especially not this far away.
Don't hear any cannon fire yet, so let's get this thing wrapped up first then. Oh, somebody blooped.
Probably
Timber
Timber.
died.
Yep, Timber.
Yep.
Snipers, get down! Timber's down!
He's probably still trying to reconnect to Fantasy Grounds.
Probably.
Also bad
Although
if you're still there, hey, but also nobody on this crew is okay. Except for maybe Gar. But even that's questionable.
It's hard to tell with Gar.
Gar's always smiling.
Yes, but with a null, you don't know if that's because they see a snack or they're actually happy. Then again, I guess those are, not mutually exclusive, so carry on.
Yep, but I will say that we are basically at the time limit. It's
That
past
is
11 for
fair.
me.
That is fair.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock
Look,
for me.
Look,
I got work in the
I am
morning.
on 2 hours of sleep, and I had a 12-hour workday.
I wasn't
bad.
arguing.
I wake up in 5 hours and 20 minutes. I'm going to bed.
I said it was fair.
We are at the limit of my ability to be here.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today for Ascent to Ascend Pathfinder, as well as this Art Marten stream. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more. There on the website, as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that keeps this channel alive and going. I cannot do this without your guys' help and your support, whether it is financial or just with your time. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It's one of the best ways to support the channel, though you can also do so by grabbing some merch over at zgfgaming.store, picking up packs of cards to stream loots, or commissioning one of the artists that I manage for, such as Conrad, who joined us today. Their information is at zgf.art. But for now, thank you so much for joining, and I bid you all the most fondest adieu.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
It's gonna
So
take
long.
more than a
Bye.
sniper to stop me.
So long, farewell. Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.